Hi guys, so welcome to the data analysis use case for slicing, right? So in this playlist, we are basically looking at ways for which you use different Python functionalities and then thinking about the use cases when you're doing some data analysis activities, right? And so in the previous video, we talked about sorting, right? And now we're talking about slicing. Now, I know that if you look to the introduction to Python playlist, you're going to see Python list slicing, list sorting, stuff like that. Now, we're trying to be clever with it now. We're trying to wonder, how do we do this on a pandas data frame? Right, so a pandas data frame is a two-dimensional table, rows, columns, right? And so we're trying to say, how do we do slicing? Now, one thing I want to introduce is, let me just introduce the list slicing. Of course, I'm not introducing it. I just want to use it to explain, put things in perspective. So if we have a list, say we say list underscore, say numbers, then inside I have a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I could basically slice the list. So which is, say, list underscore numbers, and then I use the square brackets, and then I can say I want to slice this. So if I do this, you see what it does. It takes the first two elements. That's what it does. Now, I might choose to put 1 here. So what it does is that it's just going to eliminate this first guy and then take the second guy. But now, how do we use this on our data science salaries data frame? So we want to use it on this. So now what I'm going to introduce a pandas method, right? And so that pandas method is called the iloc. So it's the iloc method. And what this does, it's primarily for integer location-based indexing. So this is integer location-based indexing. So it can slice, so based indexing. That's what it is. So in essence, what it can do is that you can slice with this. You can slice rows, columns, or both. You can slice rows, columns, or both using the iloc. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. So first off, we have our, say we have this, right? We already see this is what we have. Now we can use dot iloc. See that? Right? And we can do this. Oh, but hold on. You see what I did there? But just hold on a bit. I'm just going to try to show you something. So I put this. And I'm expecting to have this, right? But no, you cannot use this. Instead, you are going to use square brackets. You're going to use square brackets. And with that, you can see I have gotten the first 3 rows. Look at that. I've gotten the first 3 rows. Really cool stuff, right? I just want to also point out something. So this is index slicing for rows. Right. Now, over here, let me just add a few of this. Over here, now something interesting can happen. I can choose to do the same thing here, but this time I'm not even going to use the iloc. I'm just going to say the first 5. And boom, it does that. Look at that. No need for this. So you're beginning to wonder, oh, what's going on, right? So I could just basically use this and then do what I want to do without the iloc. So what's the use of the iloc, you say? Now, I now want to slice the first 2 columns, and I want the first 2 columns. So So here, let me document this over here and say slicing without the iloc. It worked here, right? But now I want to get the columns out. So I need the first two columns. I want to deal with this first two, or these first three columns, or these first four columns, or these first five columns. I want them here. So what I'm going to do is I need to slice. So I'm going to say data, yes. So what I want to achieve is I put a square bracket, right? So I put this to skip my rows because I want just columns. Then I put this because I want the first five, right? And here we go. Oh, now you see there's a problem, right? Now you see, okay, it's interesting. Oh, we get it now. So we need to use .iloc. Really important, right? You see what I'm talking about? So here we do this, and you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this is where we now have the first 5 rows. So here we just put a head column and the head. So we see this. So here we document this. This gives us, we sliced here, we sliced the first 5 columns, right? So this is the slicing that we use. Now, what if, one last part, what if we want to slice both rows and columns, right? So here again, we're going to come and say slice. So we're going to come here and say slice both rows and columns. So how are we going to do that? So what we're going to do is I probably want to slice the first 3 rows and then the first 2 columns. So again, I call on my Pandas data frame and .iloc. Of course, there's the .loc method, but we're going to talk about that in the second part of this slicing thing. And here, so the first thing I want to do is I want the first 3 rows. Okay, let me say the first 5 rows. And second, I want just the first 3 columns. So you see, first 5 rows, but I want to stop over here, right? And then I want to use head here. And so you see that first 5 rows, first 3 columns. Right, so you see how we did that? We used that to slice through what we were looking for. So really interesting stuff we can do with the slicing. You see that? So right, so we can do that with slicing, and we use the .iloc method. In the next video, we are going to look at the .loc method, the LOC. So this is like label based. We're going to look at that, and we're going to see what we can do with that. But for now, this is the use case for it. Take your time and watch this, right? And like, subscribe, and share with your friends and families and all.